Hey guys, it's me, Sam Stein, managing editor at the Bulwark. I am here with Bill Kristol and Andrew Egger, the prolific, famous, perhaps infamous newsletter writers, co-authors of Morning Shots, probably in your inbox every morning between 9 and 9:30. You enjoy it with your second cup of coffee, as is customary. We are here a couple hours before tonight's debate, about half a day before tonight's debate, which is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have Bill and Andrew here to answer a few questions and, more importantly, make a few predictions about what we are going to see tonight. I'm going to start with Bill first. We're doing predictions for the debate. Will Trump bring a surprise guest tonight, and if so, who?
I could have used 4 or 5 more minutes, Sam, on the illustriousness of Andrew and me, but that's okay. We'll just get right to work here. I think he could well bring guests. He did in 2016 to the Hillary debate, right? The victims of Bill Clinton. Yeah. I think either Gold Star families who have rallied to those ones that have rallied to his defense on the Arlington Cemetery controversy. Either that, or maybe someone who's a victim of relatives of someone who's a victim of immigrant crime. Don't you think he would like that?
Yeah, one of those two. Andrew, who do you have him bringing as a surprise guest?
I want to know where Bill gets off picking 2, because I prepared 2, and those were the 2 I had. And I was like, he'll take one, I'll take the other. No, I think the Gold Star family is the likeliest thing. But it's kind of weird because the Arlington stuff has already become, and we talk all the time about how insanely short the news cycles have become, because there's always another one. And this week it's all Springfield, Ohio, and migrant crime and the supposed eating of cats. And all that stuff. So, yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if it would be – it might be a little too online for Trump to specifically pluck somebody out of Springfield, Ohio and bring them along.
It's going to be someone from Springfield whose cat was abducted, allegedly.
I think much more likely, perhaps one of these families of someone, hurt or killed by a migrant. You see these stories crop up from time to time, and especially in recent months. So I think that those are probably the 2 safest bets if he brings someone.
All right, so we have general agreement between the 2 of you. No, so 1-1, no way that anyone can emerge victorious off this prediction. Let's go to the next one. Most likely attack line from Donald Trump. Andrew, what do you got?
Well, it's going to be the commie Kamala stuff, right? I mean, it's going to be basically the same playbook that he ran against Joe Biden in 2020, which was basically saying, you're pretending to be a moderate right now, Joe, but your left flank is not going to let you be a moderate. They're not going to let you, govern from the center. And in 2020, Joe Biden's response to that was, well, I won the primary. I'm the party. I'm the guy. It's not Bernie Sanders. It's me.
The party wants to go socialist medicine.
My party is
and
me.
Socialist
right
healthcare.
Now, I am
and
the
they're going to dominate
party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the Democratic Party is what I, in fact, approved of.
And it's a little harder for Kamala Harris to make that case because the positions that Trump will be throwing at her will be her own positions from that campaign, from the 2020 campaign. And so she'll have a slightly harder time coming back from that than Biden did in 2020, and how she navigates all that will be interesting to watch tonight. But I think that's the thing. It's Kamala Harris with the Marxist professor for a father who wants to turn the United States of America.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bill, can we count that from Andrew? Andrew was basically going with a nickname.
Yeah, that's good.
That doesn't seem like a tagline. Come on.
I don't actually agree. I think it'll be, you're the border czar. You happy about the border? You guys did a good job for 3.5 years. What did you do for 3.5 years? Why don't you defend it right here? That's what I would do if I were Trump. I think it's a greater vulnerability for her that she's in Trump's mind, and I think actually in the electorate, that if you can make her Biden's vice president who failed in office, so both the incumbent and a failed incumbent, probably, he'll do the liberals, the left-wing stuff too, but I think that'll be the core of his attack.
All right, so we have Bill going with the border attack and Andrew going with your father was a Marxist economist. That'll be the technical attack line. Bill, this one lends itself to you because you just mentioned it. At least I think this is where you're going to go with this. On what policy, if any, will Kamala Harris criticize or distance herself from Joe Biden?
I don't know. I mean, I'd say distance. So distance is different from criticize. And I think,
she's never going to criticize the guy. She's never going to say he failed, right? But she
could say,
I disagreed.
She could do 2 things. The strongest would be to say, I disagreed with X, and I respected him, obviously, and he's the president. He made the decision. I don't think she'll quite go there, and maybe it's not true, incidentally. I think if she said, it would be strong still to say, in retrospect, I wish we had done this. I personally think that would be a good idea. I think voters would appreciate a kind of honesty and a sense of she's not just defending everything. She hasn't done that yet, though. She's just sort of said things that are different from Biden's policies, which is the next step of distancing. And there she might do it on a bunch of issues. But it's stronger if you're willing to say, look, I think we underestimated X, or I wish we had done some of these things.
Well, you got there are certain rules to this game, Bill. What is the specific issue where you think she might do that, if there is one?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know.
I would go with the border.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think she's going to say something akin to like, we should have done it a little quicker.
Yeah.
We should have recognized that. Andrew, what do you got?
The border's a good guess. I would not be surprised if she distances herself a little bit from some of the Biden-y rhetoric about Israel. One of the weird kind of dynamics of the past few weeks in the race has been obviously Kamala Harris has done very little in terms of press, but Tim Walz has been a little more open. And he has seemed to kind of like push the envelope a little further in the direction of like, look, these protesters have a real point. A lot of their conduct over there has been really unacceptable. Obviously, that's a line Biden's been walking to for months now. But Biden, has the decades of experience in the Senate of being a staunch Israel ally, staunch Israel supporter. That Kamala Harris, as a member of a more recent vintage of Democratic lawmakers, doesn't necessarily have that like deep well of historical loyalty pulling her back toward support for our ally Israel. So I'll be interested to see how she finesses that on the debate stage, but I would not be surprised to see a little daylight between them there.
All right, here we go. Who speaks for the most amount of time tonight? You get one of those tickers that tells you who gets to talk most. Andrew, you go first. Who gets the most time?
I never know how to answer these things. I assume it will be Donald Trump.
Well, it's a binary choice. Is it Trump or Harris?
Trump is a maximalist, and Harris is going to try to keep things pretty disciplined. I think Donald Trump will speak for longer.
And they do have these strict limits of 2 minutes and then the rebuttals and so forth. So in a way, it could be the exact same amount of time. Trump will take every second he has. Harris will, if she's convinced to be a minimalist, it'll be a mistake. I mean, I just think this is the case where I'm worried that they will overthink it. And I would say it would be very much the case if she went that way on Gaza too. She's got to make her case to the American public. She needs every second she can have to introduce herself and continue the introduction to the American public. So if Trump speaks more than Harris, I think that'll be good for Trump and bad for Harris.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I thought, this was such a Biden affect, but he kept doing that thing where he would stop about 1 minute and 10 seconds into the answer and just be like, all right, I'm done. He'd be like, why are you not using your time? You were allotted your time. Take advantage of this. But he just kept doing that. Never really understood it. All right. Bill, next question. Does Trump accuse Harris of only recently becoming black?
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
No, I think they will play the race card on the immigration issue, not on the personal Harris issue, I suspect.
Andrew?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that if this were like an attack that Trump was like really core to his own kind of disdain for Kamala Harris, he might see him be unable to resist, but I don't expect to see it.
Wrong, both of you. The moderator will bring it up. It will be asked, and Trump will defend what he said. And then
actually, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about the moderator putting his thumb on the scale. Where's the moderator get off? I thought this was just Bill and me.
No, excuse me. A proper reporter takes into account all factors here. Clearly, you guys need to.
But you assume that Trump
will
actually feel any obligation to respond to what the moderator says, which I think he can just give. He'll just give whatever.
That's pure bait. That's pure bait for Trump. He cannot not respond to that stuff. All right, who will CNN? There's always these immediate debate reaction polls, right? Like instantaneous viewer reaction. They're scientifically worthless, but we're going to treat them like gospel anyway. Last question for predictions. Who will win the immediate debate reaction poll? As a reminder, Trump won the immediate debate reaction poll 67-33 over Biden. I was shocked that 33% went with Biden in that case. I thought it would be much more lopsided. Bill, you go first. Who wins the CNN or whatever it is, CBS, I don't know, immediate reaction poll?
Normally in a non-Biden, falling apart situation, partisans think their person won, and this race is far enough along. I think the poll will be 49-49.
Wow. Okay. Andrew.
Just for sake of a different answer, I'm going to say 51-47 Harris.
Oh my God, you guys!
She's winning in the popular vote, Bill. There's more of hers.
Also, I just
not so
don't
clear.
think that's
not in the Times
things...
or the Pew polls.
I just think also this is not exactly how it technically works. And I think she'll have a better night than Trump. I'm going with something closer to 57-43, maybe even up to 60. I have a feeling. All right. Well, we have our predictions in.
Can I ask one question?
Make sure we
both of you, honest question.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
If, let's say Trump slightly outperforms Harris in the debate, 55-45, if you want to put it that way in terms of the poll, how bad or disastrous is that for Harris, or is that a blip, 1 point worth, and the campaign chugs along?
I don't think anything changes Trump's number. It's at 48%. It will be at 48%. The missed opportunity is what is problematic for Harris, but it's going to be a close race, or she'll inch ahead. But Trump's going to either pull it out with like narrow margins across the board, or Harris will emerge victorious. But I think a missed opportunity is bad, frankly, for Harris. Andrew, what do you think?
I agree with that. I agree with what you said, Sam. Great stuff.
Yeah, look, Trump knocked out a sitting president from the election, so these debates can go badly, but I don't think it's going to go that badly. But frankly, what she needs to do is just talk to a whole slice of the electorate that wants to see something calming and interesting and thoughtful from her. And so that would be a missed opportunity for today. All right. Look at Bill turning on me. I'm the host here. Thank you guys for both of your predictions. Appreciate it. Bookmark this video. Come back and tell us how wrong we were. Andrew, Bill, talk to you guys in a little bit.